People often think that the only way to master time is with some complicated system, a color-coded calendar, and 5 different productivity apps on the go. But sometimes it's the incredibly simple stuff that works best. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 unusual time management tips that actually help you get more done without having to wake up at 5 AM, live in motion, or become a productivity robot. Number 1 is to set a timer for how long different tasks are going to take you to do, because how often have you sat down to do something and then 1 hour later you're suddenly researching air fryers or something else completely ridiculous? And so what setting a timer really does is I think it really focuses your mind on the task at hand, and it should help to eliminate procrastination. And I think setting a timer is almost like putting bumpers up on a bowling lane. It really helps you moving in the right direction without falling into the gutter of procrastination. And when setting a timer, I would also try to leverage the power of Parkinson's law, which essentially says that work will fill to expand the time that we give to it. So if we give a task 2 hours, it's probably going to take us 2 hours to do that task. But if we actually gave only 45 minutes for the same task, the chances are we would probably be able to complete that task within 45 minutes. And so the real key here is to make sure that you are setting deadlines for yourself and probably set them a little bit shorter than you actually think. Point number 2 is recovery. And so setting timers, like we talked about in point 1, that will help you to get started and will hopefully make you more focused when it actually comes to the task that you're trying to do. But recovery is important too. I think recovery in particular will help you to avoid burnout and actually can rejuvenate you in certain situations. And particularly in society today, there is this hustle culture of just pushing harder and sleeping when you're dead. But in reality, I don't want to die. I just want to get through my to-do list and then have some time to watch Netflix like a normal person. And sure, sometimes you can force productivity and you can force muscling your way through things. And some of the times that is what you'll need to do, because sometimes you do just need to take some initial action steps and get going with things, and then things will start to become easier. But some of the time, I think trying to push through too much, it can lead to burnout, or you might wind up actually still doing things, but then you just wind up doing them so much less efficiently and at a lower quality than you otherwise would. And so what I would say when it comes to recovery is to try to be a little bit strategic with it, because of course, I'm not trying to say that you can just take loads of time off all the time, because the most important things ultimately will be to do the work and to actually take the action steps that are necessary to accomplish your goals. But I think you can be this strategic with having pockets of recovery within your schedule or within your calendar. If you know, for instance, you've got a couple months of extremely intense work with lots of long hours, then don't feel guilty about giving yourself a whole week or 2 weeks off at the end of that to just completely recover or rejuvenate. Or sometimes maybe it will just be you just need 1 evening of just binge watching television, or maybe you just need an extra hour or 2 off here and there. And so I think just try to be at times a little bit mindful of how you're feeling. And if you think that things are just getting a little bit too much in, don't feel guilty about putting recovery slots in, because if you have those recovery slots, it hopefully will make you feel better, and then you'll be able to come back more energized, feeling fresher and more positive in terms of then doing the actual work that you need to do. Number 3 is to make tasks as enjoyable as possible. And the idea here is quite a simple one. It is just that if you're actually enjoying what you're doing, you're going to be more likely to want to do it, and you'll probably be able to do it at a higher level. And in terms of how to make things more enjoyable, I think that's maybe a little bit down to different personality types and kind of what works best for you. But maybe it's that you like listening to some music whilst you're doing some work and that just feels nice to you. Or maybe you're someone that really likes working with other people and working with groups, and that feels more enjoyable. Or it could just be something as simple, which is kind of what I do, which is just trying to have a nice environment to work in. So I always like for my work area to be pretty clean, and maybe I'll have a little plant pot around or something like that, and just having that nice environment to me makes it feel better, and then I feel more inclined to just want to work more effectively. Number 4 is to hydrate, and I think people really underestimate the importance of hydration, particularly when it comes to working effectively and being productive. And this was something that I even found back in the day. I used to think sometimes that I had discipline problems because I couldn't just bring myself to work as effectively as I wanted. But in reality, all I needed was some water. And when you are dehydrated, it really can affect your mood, it can affect your energy levels, it can affect your ability to focus. And so we need to make sure that we are hydrated properly. And so what I would say here is to firstly make sure that you are drinking enough water. So I think people should try to aim for at least like 3 liters, if not more, every day. And I would also front load the amount of water that you have in the earlier parts of the day, because we do wake up being a little bit dehydrated. If you do that, hopefully you are drinking enough water. But as well as that, I think it is also important to try to make sure that you're getting enough electrolytes in your system, because electrolytes is actually what helps to maintain your body's fluid balance. So for me, I have this Element electrolyte sachet, and I have one of those every day. And so I really would recommend thinking about potentially using some sort of electrolyte supplement. And number 5 is to delegate, because the easiest ways to have more time is to have less things to do. I mean, sounds simple, right? But delegation is literally a way to ultimately have less things to do. And it's literally a way to like buy back some of your time. And sure, like delegating certain things, you're probably gonna have to pay for it. It's probably gonna come at cost. But I think people really underestimate or don't think enough about delegating just like certain tasks within their life. And so what I really just encourage people to do is just think about whether there's any task in their life that they really just like hate doing and that maybe someone else could do, or just things that just really aren't a very good use of their time. And so for me, there's like 2 clear examples I can point to. So one is cleaning. So me and my wife, we do just get a cleaner in just for a couple of hours every couple of weeks, which helps to keep our house in a nice state and saves us having to do it. And then the second thing is that I did delegate editing of my YouTube videos out, and that saves me a hell of a lot of time, and my editor Hawkins is a much better editor than me. And just delegating out these couple of things, it saves me a number of hours each week, and it then means that I can actually focus in on some of the other things that are important in my life, and it just gives me that much more time to do those things. So I would really just try to think about whether there's any other things in your life that you can delegate out and buy back some time. So there are 5 incredibly simple time management tips that I don't think people think enough about, but are things that really can save you a hell of a lot of time. I hope you found this video interesting. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.